All right, guys, it's about 8:45. I'm finally eating my peanut butter sandwich. I got the tire. The second tire was a lot easier now that I knew what to expect. However, I still have a mess. I got splatter everywhere from reseating the tires on the new rims. I got it on the RAV. I got it in my face. I think I wiped it off. Because it's so messy when the bead is popping on. And I should have made a video, but who knows how long it was going to be. All right, guys, so I'm back. And it's raining out, so I can't really ride out there. And I'm trying to, make sure everything's good on the tubeless setup here. And it's chilly out here. Sorry for the runny nose. My worst fears are coming true here. So I'm gonna show you the process of setting up the tubeless and everything like that with these tires and everything on the Ozark. The problem that I have that I thought I might have is the front tire at a 2.6 inside this buckless fork. It's not gonna work. If that fork was a through axle, it would probably be fine. I have a little bit of rub and I was riding it and it was going brr, brr, brr. So I was like, well, maybe the wheel is out of true, and that was the case. It's slightly out of true. I made it to where I can get it like close enough to where it's almost perfectly true. And then it was fine. And then I'm riding around here in my small little space here in the garage. And when I'm turning right, everything's good. But when I'm turning left and leaning, it's brr, brr, brr. I don't know if I can show you and what I believe is the problem. Obviously, the tire's too big at 2.6, but it's the quick release. That's the weak point, and that's what I was saying earlier. The back is fine. It doesn't rub at all. There's a little bit of clearance on each side, perfectly fine, but that through axle in the back is rigid enough to where there's not gonna be a whole lot of flex within the wheel. The front, however, let me try to show you. I'm gonna set you down. Hopefully you don't fall over, and hopefully you can hear what I'm talking about. 7:30, it's time to check my watch. So listen carefully. Did you hear that? You hear that? When you're turning at a certain angle, if you're going in a straight line, it's perfectly good. Obviously, we know that that's not the case when we're riding bikes. We're constantly turning and leaning. Our weight is shifting. I'm gonna take these tires off, put these ones on, swap it, do the whole thing. Shouldn't take more than about 20 minutes or so, but it's gonna get messy because I got sealant in these, I got sealant in these. Taking them off is the easy part. It's getting them back on without making a mess that's the hard part. So probably gonna spill sealant everywhere. 2 different sealants, mixing back and forth, all the things. Anyway, enjoy the install. The install is straightforward. All right, guys, it is now 8:15, and I am in a cluster, you know what. So I got the BONTRAGER, the new tires, the other day. Put them on the Roscoe. They were a pain in the ass to get on. Now I have to switch them from the Roscoe to the Ozark. There's sealant in them. It's a mess. They're a pain in the ass to get on, they're a pain in the ass to get off. That bead was so strong, I had to use a piece of wood, I had to use a C-clamp, a lot of swear words. Eventually got the tire off. I'm gonna show you the mess that I've gotten myself into. All right, so here's what I got going on here. I got both the bikes on the ground. I'm gonna do a swap, front, rear. Here is the aftermath of the new BONTRAGER tire coming off of the Roscoe. I broke the first bead, and then the second bead was stuck, and then I had obviously all the sealant in there. What am I supposed to do? I only have 2 hands. Well, just spill it everywhere and figure it out later. Eventually got it off. Here it is on the Ozark wheel. So we shouldn't have any issue with a seal here. There's plenty of sealant to go around, as you can see. And then I got the old XR4 back on the Roscoe wheel. Now I'm gonna have to get the hose. I'm gonna have to go out there in the rain and get this at least hosed off, and then I can figure it out later. Once I get these on, I can add sealant, more sealant if I need to. I'll order some more on Amazon. I'm gonna put some air in these. Hopefully they air up, take them out, hose them off, bring them back. Getting the tires on each respective wheel, right? Obviously the XR4 came on the Roscoe. It's super easy. Gets on, off, easy. This one, this new BONTRAGER that I'm putting now on the Ozark rims, went on there pretty easy. It's a thinner profile rim here versus the Roscoe, which is a wider profile rim, so it's a little bit more difficult. So I think that once I figure it out, it'll be just fine and it'll work out. Everything will be great. I'll get this all cleaned up. Don't know how I'm gonna clean it. Might just let it dry and then scrape it off. We'll see. With my luck, it'll never dry. I'll have to wipe it up with a napkin. But anyway, that's the update. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed my little nonsense here, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, guys. So everything is back and right as rain. So the Roscoe has its old tires back on. Hopefully, with all my frustration, I was paying attention and I didn't put any of these tires on backwards. I'm not even gonna check right now. I'll check it in the morning. I've rinsed them off with the hose. I gotta let this spot dry. Gotta wipe off the wall. And I've aired these up to about 35 or 40 PSI. Make sure they're holding. They'll probably hold just fine. But I do need to get some more sealant. I do have that slime. I don't know if it's any good. But I do have a little bit of junk here on the front here. I didn't rinse that one off as good maybe. But now we've got the BONTRAGER MONTROSE on the Ozark Trail. And it's probably what I was gonna do initially or originally, but for whatever reason I decided it would be easier to put them on there and then take those and put them on here. Well, that wasn't the case. So I think the idea that I had was I wanted to make the hardtail a little faster, which, you know, it's fast enough. It's pretty fast, especially now. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit faster rolling this year because these tires are getting worn down a bit. But this is probably the right choice. So 2.4, these are going to clear no problem. Not going to have any issues in the front or the rear. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. So hopefully the weather will shake out nicely for us over the next week or so. We'll be able to go take this out for a secondary ride now that it's got a tubeless setup. Monitor this overnight. When I wake up, I'm gonna come check it, make sure, because I was having a bit of an issue with that rear valve stem. For whatever reason, it just seems to have a leak. I think it's resolved, but so far holding firm, both front and rear, no issues. But usually the way this goes is I'll turn my back or go do something else. I'll come back and it'll be flat. So just keep that in mind. I think we're in a good spot here. Go ahead and end it. And it does look good. It's got the tan sidewalls. We all like the tan, unless you don't. But anyway, we'll see how it goes from here. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.